Close. Colts head coach Frank Reich, speaking at the NFL owners meeting in Phoenix on Tuesday, breaks down potential offensive changes in 2019. Zak Keefer, Zak.Keefer at IndyStar.com. With free agency and the owners' meetings in the rearview mirror and players reporting back to their teams for off-season workouts, the NFL draft looms on the horizon at the end of April. Indianapolis holds 9 picks in April's draft and a roster that has far fewer holes than it had at this time a year ago. For the next 2 weeks, IndyStar will take a look at the Colts on a position-by-position basis, gauging the level of need at each spot as Indianapolis prepares to make its picks. Indianapolis, the Colts entered the offseason with a clear need at wide receiver. Outside of a sublime season from T.Y. Hilton, who was arguably the NFL's best receiver down the stretch, Indianapolis got inconsistent production from a position group that battled injuries, drops and an inability to pick up yards after the catch all season. No Colts wide receiver other than Hilton finished with more than 500 receiving yards. Marcus Johnson was the only Indianapolis wideout other than Hilton to average more than 11 yards per reception. The comeback season Andrew Luck put together was a testament to the quarterback's own ability and the ingenuity of Frank Reich's offense to find answers without a clear no-2 option, but Reich has acknowledged that he'd like to have another player capable of the day-in, day-out brilliance of Hilton. The no characteristic is I can put him over there one-on-one, it's 3rd and 5, and I know we've got to throw a slant route or a stop route, and he's going to win a high percentage of the time, Reich said at the Combine. At some point, I think that's really important to have that trait. Indianapolis Colts wide receiver T.Y. Hilton, 13, makes a catch as he is defended by Houston Texans strong safety Justin Reed, 20, and Benardrick McKinney, 55, in the first half of their AFC wildcard playoff game at NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas, on Saturday, Jan. 5, 2019. Photo, Matt Krieger, IndyStar. The Colts made one big move in free agency by signing Devin Funchess, a player who failed to live up to his potential in Carolina but excites Reich. Working on a one-year deal that leaves Indianapolis with little risk, Reich sees the potential for big rewards. I remember watching his tape coming out of college thinking, this guy is a monster physically, and look at his feet. Watch the way this guy runs routes, Reich said at the NFL owners' meetings. I mean, I remember watching him coming out of college thinking this guy could play in this lot, the way he runs routes. He's a big man, so the catch radius is massive. At this point, Indianapolis has not resigned Dontrell Inman, the veteran who helped stabilize the receiving corps at mid-season, but the possibility of a healthy Deon Cain offers the prospect of an impact addition from within the Colts roster. Before he suffered a torn ACL last preseason, Cain looked like he might be a difference maker. It's a matter of him going out and having to prove it again, Ballard said at the Combine. It's almost like he's a rookie again. For us to sit here and say, no doubt, this guy is going to be our no.2 receiver, I can't sit here and say that. Do I think he has the ability? Absolutely, I do, thank you. You're almost signed up for IndyStar Motorsports. Keep an eye out for an email to confirm your newsletter registration. More newsletters. Funchess and Cain might be able to make the difference. But with depth at just about every other position on offense and fewer holes to fill than they've had to plug the past 2 off-seasons, the Colts will likely add a draft pick or 2 at receiver, potentially a player taken on the first or second day, where the strength of this wide receiver class appears to be in fold. T.Y. Hilton, Devin Funchess, Chester Rogers, Deon Cain, Zach Pascal, Marcus Johnson, Darius Fountain, Krishan Hogan, Steve Ishmael, Jordan Veazey, James Wright. Ballard's hierarchy of needs. The hunch here is that wide receiver might not be as high on the Colts' list of priorities as analysts around the NFL believe it to be. Expect Indianapolis to add a receiver or 2, but the position might not be considered a need so desperate that the Colts use their first-round pick on a pass catcher, even though many mock drafts have been predicting a wideout at no. 26. Beyond Hilton, there are obviously questions surrounding the rest of the group. Will the Colts be able to get more out of Funchess than the Panthers did? Will Kane be able to realize the potential he flashed last summer before tearing his ACL? Can Chester Rogers be consistent? Can Zach Pascal, Maurice Johnson or Darius Fountain make a big leap? The flip side of those questions is that the Colts already have a lot of options. If Indianapolis gets a fairly average season from Funchess, the addition of a healthy, productive Kane, or another young receiver, would represent an upgrade. Indianapolis could use another dog, as Nick Sirianni likes to say, but if that type of player isn't available, Ballard might stay the course he's charted before at the position and continue drafting second- or third-day receivers who have a lot of upside. What's available? Back at the NFL Combine, Ballard said that he thinks there is depth in this receiver class, but he wasn't sure if he saw a no-doubt star in the group. The rest of the NFL seems to back up Ballard's opinion. NFL Network draft analyst Daniel Jeremiah tweeted on Wednesday morning that he wouldn't be surprised if only one wide receiver was taken in the first round. ESPN's team of Mel Kiper and Todd McShay predicted two apiece in their most recent mock drafts. The end of the first round, though, there is clear depth in the second and third round, which might be a good matchup of position and draft value for a Colts team that picks at the end of the first round and then again at the top of the second. The lack of a clear top dog has made it difficult to tell the pecking order among receivers. Better to look at the bunch in terms of prototypes. There are the big bodies: Ole Miss DK Metcalf, Arizona State's N'Keal Harry, North Carolina State's Kelvin Harmon, Iowa State's Hakeem Butler, Notre Dame's Miles Boykin, the Burners, Oklahoma's Marquise Brown, Ohio State's Paris Campbell, Georgia's Mecole Hardman, UMass Andy Isabella, and the all-around types, Ole Miss A.J. Brown, Cathedral and Ohio State product Terry McLaurin, South Carolina's Deebo Samuel. In other words, the Colts, and any other team in the NFL in need of a receiver, have no shortage of options at the position. The question is when and where they pull the trigger.